Hi there, and welcome back to Timeless Wisdom. Have you ever stepped inside your house and felt a heaviness settle on your shoulders? Not because of anything anyone said, but simply because of the clutter? Maybe it's stacks of papers, the chair that collects everything, or that kitchen drawer you avoid opening. If this rings true for you, know that you're definitely not alone. Here's something many people don't realize. There are subtle, almost invisible habits. Little secrets, really, that have helped so many women over 60 completely reshape the way they experience their homes. And no, this isn't about marathon cleaning sessions or investing in expensive storage solutions. These are gentle routines, simple, mindful adjustments that fit smoothly into your daily life. They don't demand extra energy or a full weekend of organizing. Just a few thoughtful minutes, a fresh perspective, and a softer approach to how you nurture your surroundings and yourself. In this video, I'll be sharing 10 of these uplifting habits, 10 easy actions that, when done with intention, can transform your home from a source of anxiety into a sanctuary of calm. These aren't the same old tips you've heard countless times before. They're the kind of changes that work quietly in the background, gently and steadily, to bring lasting peace. So if you've ever felt like your living space is gradually becoming more stressful than soothing, stay tuned, because you're about to discover a new way to bring harmony back into your home. Tip 1. The 5 firsts visual rule. Let's start with something that seems small, but has a surprisingly powerful impact on how we experience our space. It is called the 5 firsts visual rule. Here is how it works. Every time you walk into a room, your kitchen, your bedroom, even your hallway, your eyes do something automatic. They scan the space and land on the 5 most noticeable things that are out of place. Not everything, just the first 5. That means even if most of the room is tidy, a few scattered items can make the entire space feel messy. That pile of unopened mail, a jacket on the back of a chair, a mug left by the sink. Your brain registers those quickly, and it sends a message. This room is cluttered. But here is the good news. You do not need to clean the whole room. You only need to take care of those 5 most visible things. Just 5. The 5 firsts visual rule is about creating instant peace with minimal effort. When you walk into a room, pause for just a moment. Look around and ask yourself, what are the 5 things I notice first that are out of place? Then gently put them back where they belong. It usually takes less than 3 minutes, but the difference in how the room feels is huge. One woman from North Carolina told me that after using this rule for just a week, she no longer felt drained by her living room. She said it felt fresh again, like it used to when her children were still at home, and she did not even do a full cleaning, just 5 items at a time. This simple shift helps us reclaim the sense of calm that clutter steals from us. It also helps you see progress every single day, because when your home starts to look peaceful again, something inside you starts to feel peaceful too. That's the beauty of this habit. It honors your energy, your time, and your need for visual calm. And for women like us, that matters more than ever. Tip 2. The one-touch rule. Now let's talk about something incredibly simple but life-changing. It is called the one-touch rule. Here's the truth. Most clutter in our homes is not created all at once. It builds up in tiny moments when we put something down just for now and forget to come back to it later. Think about it. You come home, put your purse on the dining table. You take off your jacket and leave it on the couch. You get the mail and drop it on the kitchen counter. Each of those moments feels harmless, but they add up, and before you know it, your peaceful space starts to feel like a storage room. The one-touch rule says, when you touch it, finish the action. That means when you pick something up, follow it through. Put it away right then and there. Don't set it down to deal with later. Later is where the clutter lives. Now is where peace begins. I understand this might feel like a lot at first, but it is not about being perfect. It is about being consistent in small ways. When you take your shoes off, Put them directly into the closet. When you open a letter, either file it or recycle it. When you're finished with your scarf, hang it up instead of dropping it on a chair. One lovely woman from Oregon told me that after trying this for 2 weeks, her home began to feel light again. She said, "I don't lose things anymore. I know where everything is and I'm not always tidying." That's the gift of the one-touch rule. It prevents the little piles from forming. It gives you back your surfaces, your chairs, your tables, and your peace of mind. And maybe most importantly, it teaches you to care for your home in real time, with real love. Tip 3. The empty nest method. Now, this next habit is one of my personal favourites. It is gentle, it is powerful, and it feels a bit like a fresh start. I call it the empty nest method. If you are a woman over 60, chances are your life looks a little different than it did 20 years ago. Maybe the kids have moved out, maybe you've downsized, or maybe you are just ready for a new chapter. The empty nest method begins with one simple idea. Start with nothing, and only add back what you truly need. Let's say you are working on a kitchen drawer. Instead of organizing what is already inside, remove everything. Completely empty it out. Wipe it clean. Look at the empty space. Take a deep breath. Now, piece by piece, ask yourself, do I still use this? Do I still love it? Do I still need it in this season of life? If the answer is yes, place it back with care. If the answer is no, donate it, toss it, or find a better home for it. This method works beautifully for more than drawers. You can use it on bookshelves, linen closets, even an entire room. One woman I worked with used it on her wardrobe. She said, "I kept clothes from my working years that I never wore again. They just reminded me of a different version of myself. But now I want my closet to reflect who I am today, calm, comfortable, and confident." That is exactly the spirit of the empty nest method. It is not about throwing things away. It is about making space for who you are now. And for many of us, that is long overdue. Tip 4. The 15-minute promise. Let me tell you something most people get wrong about home organization. They believe it has to be an all-day project, that unless you spend a whole Saturday cleaning from top to bottom, nothing really counts. But that belief is not only exhausting, it's untrue. In fact, the real secret is the opposite. It's called the 15-minute promise, just 15 minutes a day, dedicated to one small task. That's it. You set a timer, you stay focused, and when the timer goes off, you stop. You don't try to finish the whole room. You don't stress about the mess in the next drawer. You simply honour the promise. 15 minutes, one small area every day. This works wonders because it is kind to your energy, it respects your time, and most importantly, it gets things done, quietly and steadily. You could organise a junk drawer on Monday, dust and tidy your nightstand on Tuesday, go through an old stack of magazines on Wednesday. One drawer, one shelf, one pile, 15 minutes at a time. A woman from Florida told me that she started doing this after breakfast each morning, before her coffee even cooled down. She said, "It became my little ritual, and after 3 weeks my entire home felt calmer." I never once spent a full day cleaning. That's the power of this method. Over 1 month, those 15-minute moments add up to over 7 hours of care and attention. That's enough to completely shift your environment without stress or strain. And more than that, it builds something even better, momentum. Because when you see what's possible in just a few minutes, you stop putting it off. You start believing in your ability to create change. And that belief, that's where transformation begins. Tip 5. Define your zones. Do you ever feel like things are always ending up in the wrong place? Scissors in the kitchen? Bills on the coffee table? Medicine in 3 different drawers? That's not a failure on your part, it's simply a lack of zones. The truth is, every item in your home needs a home of its own, a specific intentional place where it belongs and returns to after use. This habit is called defining your zones. It's about creating clear, simple areas for categories of things. Office supplies in one drawer, cleaning items in one cupboard, receipts in one file folder. Not scattered, not hidden in 5 different places. Just one spot for each type of thing. That's the key. It does not require buying fancy containers or labelling everything. It's more about making thoughtful decisions. Where do your batteries go? What's the exact place for your reading glasses when you're not using them? One woman from Minnesota shared her story. She kept losing her checkbook and postage stamps every time she needed to mail something. It was a mini scavenger hunt. So she created a simple mail station in a small basket by her kitchen phone. Now everything related to mailing, pens, envelopes, return labels, stamps, lives in that basket. And do you know what she said after a month? She said, "It feels like my home finally agrees with me. I'm not fighting against it anymore." That's exactly the feeling zones give you. They eliminate frustration. They help others in your home too, your spouse, your grandkids, even visitors, because everyone knows where things go. No more guesswork, no more clutter that's just waiting to be dealt with. Instead, a system that supports you and brings peace to your daily life. Tip 6. The 3-second kindness rule. Let's face it, there are moments when we see something out of place and think, "I'll do that later." We walk past the sweater on the chair, the coffee mug on the counter, the shoes by the door, and we whisper to ourselves, "Not now, I'll handle it later." But here's the truth. Those tiny moments of delay are the building blocks of clutter. So here's a gentle new habit to try. If it takes less than 3 seconds, do it now. Pick up the throw blanket and fold it. Put your reading glasses back in the case. Place the lid back on the jar. It's called the 3-second kindness rule. And it's not just about tidying. It's about caring for your future self, that version of you tomorrow, or even just 10 minutes from now, who will walk into the room and feel either calm or overwhelmed. This tiny rule, practiced a few times each day, can completely change how your home feels. Because clutter doesn't begin with chaos. It begins with little things left undone again and again. But so does peace. Peace begins with these small acts of kindness: folded towels, rinsed cups, papers put back where they belong. A teacher I know used this habit in her classroom. She told me, "Once I stopped saying later, everything changed, and it was all thanks to 3 seconds." The beautiful part is, this habit trains your mind to act right away, not from stress, but from care. And over time, it becomes second nature. You begin to take pride in every small act of love you show your home. Because after all, you deserve to walk into a space that feels cared for, and no one can give you that feeling better than you. Tip 7. 1 in, 1 out. Let's talk about a habit that brings both clarity and balance to your home without ever feeling like you're depriving yourself. It's called the 1 in, 1 out rule. And it's exactly what it sounds like. For every new item that comes into your home, one existing item goes out. It may seem simple, but it's one of the most effective ways to keep clutter from creeping back in. Because the truth is, clutter isn't just about what we already own. It's about what we keep adding. Let me ask you something. Have you ever bought a new pair of shoes but didn't get rid of the old ones you no longer wear? Or brought home a new set of mugs or dish towels but never cleared out the worn, mismatched ones in your drawer? That's how homes slowly become overstuffed, quietly, item by item. But with the 1 in, 1 out rule, you create a natural rhythm. If you buy a new blouse, you donate one you no longer wear. If you receive a gift, you let go of something that's no longer useful. It keeps your home feeling light, intentional, and easy to manage. One woman I worked with kept a donation basket inside her hallway closet. Anytime she brought something new into the house, new slippers, a gift, or even groceries that replaced expired ones, she'd find one item to place in that basket. Once a month, she'd drive to her local charity and drop it off, and she said something beautiful. She said, "It doesn't just keep my home organized. It makes me feel like I'm always giving something forward." That's the hidden gift of this habit. It's not just about tidying, it's about intentional living. It teaches us to be thoughtful with what we bring into our homes. It helps us let go of things we've outgrown, whether physically, emotionally, or simply by season of life. And it reminds us that we don't need to hold on to everything to hold on to who we are. You're allowed to evolve, you're allowed to change, and so is your home. Tip 8. The full rotation method. Let's open a closet together. Maybe it's your linen closet or your pantry. Now look closely. What items are always at the front? What's been sitting in the back for months or even years? That's the problem the full rotation method solves. Over time, we tend to grab what's easy to reach. We use the same towels, the same canned goods, the same 3 sweaters, and the items buried in the back. They just sit there, forgotten. This creates waste, duplication, and yes, clutter. The full rotation method helps you avoid that by encouraging a gentle, consistent habit. Each time you put something back, place it behind or beneath the others. Each time you take something out, choose from the front or the top. Imagine you're folding laundry. Instead of placing the fresh towels on top of the old ones, slide them underneath. When you stack your pantry items, place new goods at the back and move older items to the front. This method is especially helpful for areas like clothing drawers, pantry shelves, bathroom cabinets, office or craft supplies. One woman told me that after using this habit for a few months, she discovered a stack of old table linen she hadn't touched in years. She rotated them forward, used them for a lovely Sunday brunch with friends, and eventually decided to pass on a few to her daughter. She said, "It felt like I gave those linens a second life." That's what rotation does. It helps you use what you already own instead of letting it fade into the background. It keeps your belongings fresh and appreciated. And here's the beautiful bonus. If you rotate through an entire cycle and notice you still haven't used something, that's a quiet, kind signal it might be time to let it go, because things we don't use tend to weigh on us more than we realize. And when you practice the full rotation method, you'll feel that weight lift little by little, with every shelf you refresh. Tip 9. The 5 W's method. Now let's go deeper into the heart of why some spaces in your home never seem to stay organized, no matter how many times you clean them. You tidy your kitchen counter, and by next week, the papers are back. You clear off your entry table, and a day later there's mail, keys, and your handbag again. Why does this happen? To find the answer, we use the 5 W's method, a tool borrowed from problem solving in business, but it works beautifully in the home. Here's how it works. When an area keeps getting messy, ask yourself why. Not once, but 5 times in a row. Let me show you with a real example. Why is the dining table always covered in papers? Because that's where I sort the mail. Why do I sort the mail there? Because there's no other space that feels convenient. Why is that? Because I never set up a system for handling mail. Why not? Because I don't think I have room for one. Why do I believe that? Because I've never actually cleared a drawer or corner to try it. Now you see it, the root cause isn't the mess, it's the missing system. And once you discover that, you can fix the problem for good. One family created a small mail centre after doing this exercise, just a wall folder and a little basket for stamps and pens. 6 months later, their table is still clear. That's the magic of this method. It helps you stop chasing symptoms and start solving real problems. For women like us, that's freeing, because we're not just organising a home. We're building a space that truly supports our everyday life. And when you understand why the clutter comes back, you take back control, not just of your space, but of your peace. Tip 10. The invisible minute strategy. Let me share one of the most overlooked secrets to a peaceful home, something so subtle you might not even realize it's available to you every single day. I call it the invisible minute strategy. It's built on a simple idea. Your day is already filled with small moments of waiting. You wait for the water to boil, you wait for the microwave to finish, you wait for the washing machine to complete a cycle, you wait for a phone call, for a commercial break to end, or for your computer to load. These tiny pockets of time, just 60 seconds here, 2 minutes there, are what I call invisible minutes. They often pass by unnoticed, and yet they're filled with potential. What if, instead of scrolling through your phone or standing there impatiently, you used those moments for tiny acts of care around your home? While the tea steeps, you could straighten the kitchen towels. While the commercial plays, you could gather stray remotes and return them to their basket. While you wait for your ride, you could fluff the pillows or file a paper that's been sitting too long. It may not feel like much in the moment, but over the course of a day you might use 5 or 6 of these invisible minutes. That's 5 or 6 moments of quiet order restored, and over a week that's a full hour or more of gentle homekeeping that didn't require any extra time at all. One grandmother from Arizona told me this strategy changed everything for her. She said, "I used to think I didn't have the energy to keep things tidy anymore, but when I started using the little moments I already had, I realized I didn't need more energy. I just needed more awareness." That's exactly what this habit offers. It's not about working harder, it's about living with intention. It turns waiting into something soothing. It helps you stay connected to your home little by little, without the burden of cleaning always looming. And most of all, it keeps your space moving, flowing, breathing, just like you. You've now learned 10 simple, thoughtful habits, each one a quiet invitation to bring more calm, more clarity, and more joy into your home. And here's the beautiful part. You don't have to use all 10 at once. Pick one, the one that spoke to your heart the most. Practice it for a week. Let it become a part of your daily rhythm. Then, when you're ready, add another. This is not about being perfect. It's not about having a picture-perfect house. It's about feeling good in the space where you live. It's about waking up and feeling like your home is supporting you, not weighing you down. Because at this stage of life, you've earned that peace. You've cared for others. You've worked hard. You've sacrificed and given. Now it's time to turn that care inward, to honour your space as a reflection of your present, not your past, and to create a home that feels like a gentle exhale at the end of every day. Many women have told me that after just a few weeks of these habits, their homes changed. But more importantly, they changed. They felt lighter, less overwhelmed, more connected to the life they were actually living right here, right now. So let me ask you, which one of these habits will you try first? Imagine a month from now, how would you like to feel when you step inside your own home? If today's episode from Timeless Wisdom has resonated with you, I'd love for you to share your thoughts in the comments below. Let us know where you're tuning in from and which habit you're inspired to start with. And if you'd like more calm, uplifting ideas like these every week, make sure to subscribe. Remember, this is your space, your home to create, and I'm here with you every step of the way. You truly deserve a home that feels like you, welcoming, soothing, and filled with peaceful energy.